Hey everyone, Lensman Oz here, and welcome back to All the Mods 9. So last episode we went to the Nether and collected some items. I do have, where was it? In here. Sorry, he's in here now. The Wither Skeleton data model in here. We had enough that we could run this, and I've run a few of them. Got a few of the Wither Skeleton predictions here, and I've also, that's not the button I wanted. I've also gotten somewhere. I put one of the things through and I've gotten the Wither Skeleton Skull. So Wither Skelly Skull. So we got a few here. I could potentially spawn a Wither. I have no long-range defensive sort of weapons at the moment, so the Wither in its current state will wait just a little bit longer. I've still been looking for ancient debris. I did have a couple in the system, and I ran them through the mechanism stuff downstairs. So if I go netherite, netherrack dust, there should have been. So we got some netherite scrap here, and as I said, recipe. That's not working. Push R. You can run them through machinery. Oh, smelter, enrichment. You can double, and there's the mechanism stuff does give you the chance to get more. There is more that you can do there, but at the moment I ran a little bit of it through here. To claim that quest, I need a netherite ingot. Cool, let's just do that quickly. Netherite ingot. I need gold now. Pop one of them in my inventory. And that should trigger that quest, which will give us some tertium essence. Oh, two of them, that's not terrible. Let's just quickly sleep. I have done a couple more researches there. We can now build a sawmill and a stone smeltery, so I'll pop them down shortly. I did a little bit of enchanting and some machines, so I did make the salvager and the material grader, which is in the Silent Gear quest line here. So I got this one here, the salvager, and as I said in the last episode, we needed some crimson steel ingots, which needs crimson iron, magma creams, etc. So using the blaze, hello, using the blaze thing from the deep learner, I ran it through the system down there and grabbed some blaze rods, which was handy. So let's claim this one. Some things, some predentium essence, very nice. And then I made the material grader. So placing an ingot in this with a grader catalyst will give the material a grade. The better the grade, the better the stats are on the material. The best grade is max. Very nice. So I do have a couple of upgraded tools here, and I upgraded my pickaxe to a tertium one, but I still need to understand a little bit more. You can see here not graded, for example. If I put, I don't know, do we put the netherite in there? Let's see what it does. I just got the glowing dust, which is a tier 1. See here, it got a grade of E, which isn't nice, I'm assuming. So I'm guessing the higher the letter, so A would probably be, or max as it says. Anyway, so that's the material grader. I'll read a little bit more around this when I get a chance. But we are pushing towards, obviously, the metal alloyer, which is something that is required for the star. So some black stone, some crimson steel. We can probably do that. Let's see if we can make the alloyer. Looking. I should probably type the word metal alloy. There it is. So this guy, do we have enough of this? Gonna need some more magma cream. Okay. Oh, that's right, magma cream. This stuff we can make from either this arrangement, or I think I was going to say there was another one. Oh, we got some molten cores around. Do that one. All right, so 3 more of these. There we go. Let's make the metal alloyer from Silent Gear. Okay. Show recipes. Okay, so we can make some different materials. Blaze gold, unknown alloy apparently. Right, so that's obviously, as I said, it's got the little star above it. It will require us for the mod star. So I'm guessing there's an alloying piece in here somewhere. Somewhere around here. I'll find it eventually. There'll be a link through. Silent Gear. Also the only way to get Tyrian steel, so that's probably the one we want. Next thing we would be doing would be making a starlight charger, which I'll need some more blaze gold for. But yeah, let's have a look through here. We got picked up a ghast here, obviously, when I fought a ghast in the nether. I upgraded the backpack that I picked up to a diamond backpack, so I've got more space to carry things, and I'm out of space, speaking of that. Put some of this stuff away. Put some more ghast tears, very handy. Toast. You can go. You can go. So yeah, I've got a diamond backpack here. And I'm pretty sure the one on my back is also a diamond backpack as well. Okay. So a couple more things here. I did the auto feeding upgrade. It was a suggestion from you guys to upgrade my backpack a little. And then we got some ancient debris here, so that just a little bit more of a quest. And then yes, Tertium tool. Excuse me. Oh, prismarine seed apparently. I must have one somewhere. Made some nature seeds in between as well, because I needed some red mushrooms and I didn't have any. Also made water seeds, dirt seeds, and wood seeds. They're all downstairs. And then started playing around with the tinkering stuff as well to see how to upgrade tools from mystical agriculture here. The prismarine seeds. Oh, did I get them? I got them as a quest. All right, so we've got some brass seeds and some prismarine seeds. I am going to need probably a couple more drawers. Let's get some more oak drawers. Oh, hello. Can I type down here? No. It's a little bit weird sometimes. Get a couple more of these guys. Oh, warehouse is full. Please upgrade it. Apparently all my stuff is full. Excellent. Just what I wanted. Can I still make this, please? There's another 8 drawers. Let's also make hopper. Need a few more pots. Cool. So let's pop downstairs. As I said, I've got some of the seeds happening over here. We've got one available here. But let's just pop a few more drawers in. Awesome. And botany pots up here probably. This one here I'm going to put prismarine in. This one I'm going to put brass in. I also, you'd notice in my inventory here I have some glowstone and some tertium essence. I do want to make some glowstone dust because I don't have a source for it yet. And it seems that some of the buildings I'm upgrading to now require glowstone. So let's do this. A lot of stuff in there. Ooh, Predanium furnace. That could come in handy. Okay, so this guy is also tier 3. So these are all tier 3. Yep. So they all need this level of farmland. Farmland. I'll do this. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Downstairs. And then there's just a couple more things underway for delivery to the villagers. So you see here they're after glowstone all the time. So yeah, that will once they've grown a little bit, I'll be able to add them to the system and give it a recipe to make glowstone from that essence. Obviously things are a little bit backed up at the warehouse. I do have a quest, do have the command in for them to upgrade the warehouse. So they will eventually get to that. I'll put that downstairs. I went ahead and made a few metallurgic infusers, and I have been, I made another enrichment chamber, and then I've just been manually enriching some of the materials here so that I can push towards the digital miner, because I really like to get that going here in the overworld, just to clean up this area, pull as many ores out of this area so that I'm not missing much. And I probably will end up moving him down to that deep dark area and trying to collect some of the deep dark ores. I think I can do it with the digital miner, but we'll find out when we get there. So just again some enriched carbon here, because obviously once you make enriched items, you actually get a lot more for your money. So if I put 1 coal in here, I'd get 1. If I put a charcoal in there, I get 2. And if I compress it, I get like 8, I think. So for a little bit of power, it's worth it. This guy is interesting though. I'm gonna pop him upstairs. Where can I put him? Because he'll be fast. So if I want something smelted fast, I'll use that guy. Alright, so I do have some obsidian dust. Digital miner obviously requires a few things. Atomic alloy is one of them, which is reinforced alloy and then the refined obsidian. Now, refined obsidian is this stuff, obsidian dust with diamond. So what do I need? I need 1, 2, 3. I'm going to need 2 ingots. 4, 5. Nothing in there. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I need like 9 of them. Let's have a look. Can I get 9 of them? Again, as I said, I've just been sort of pushing through trying to make this manually. I will automate like this guy and probably the osmium compressor here in coming episodes, or in between episodes probably. And I may end up automating these guys with some crafters and bits and pieces on it. See here, some refined obsidian dust. Atomic alloy. It's reinforced alloy. Diamond, which is infused alloy, which is iron. Let's grab a handful of iron. Pop it in there. More of that. Prepping along. We need to do a few more diamonds. Here's our infused alloy. We'll need to drop it into the next one. And then this one here will actually have this stuff. Can I run... excuse me. I can run it through the enricher. Interesting. So I don't actually need as many as I thought. I should be able to get a boost. If I put 1 in here, I'll just get the 1. So again, makes sense to run it through the enricher. I should probably go and get the factory upgrade for the enricher and be able to do multiple things at once. But yeah, we're again ticking over and trying to get things set up for a little bit more automation later. Okay. In terms of quests, let's claim that glowstone one. And let's take a quick look at what we've got going here. In my bag. Card. card. Okay, so lock the drawers, add it to the system. And yeah, obviously we're going to need a bit more glowstone than 2. I think we need 8 to make glowstone. But again, another resource I don't need to worry about. Can I help you? Let's put, I don't know, let's put 4 of it in there. As I said, I'm going to need a couple of refined obsidian ingots. Ugh, noise. No noise. Quiet. We're going to need a couple of them, as I said. Let's make the steel casing. See what else we can make. Them. Need 4 of these guys. Robert. Personal chest. For them. Alright, so just need the 2 refine them. Out. One of the atomic alloys, and I've got that guy. I need at least 5. Got 8 running through. Here we go for power. Good, good, very nice. This is still just ticking along as things get mined up, just running over and processing as needed. Am I going to need, grab those 2. One of them. Let's make the Robert first. Gotta be careful making sure I put things into my inventory, because there's probably things I have made and then not, there might be a quest for it. I've got an achievement at least. There you go. Alloy in. Tertium ingot. Let's the rest of this in here. Okay. 1. Ooh, let's grab that guy. Just finished talking about it and then didn't put it in my inventory. Now all I need is 2 more of these. Should have them now. 1, 2. Digital miner. Awesome. So here's a Digiminer. Again, it'll need power, a few other bits and pieces, but if we put him down, there is a config for how far we can go. Oh, excuse me. Bit under the weather at the moment, by the way, so apologies. So max we can go is 32, and then you can set your heights. So the minimum height, so let's say we could go 110. And then you can set in your config. Max is 110. Minimum is, I don't know, negative 256 or negative 99. Okay, cool. And then we need to do some filters. If I do, it's been a while since I've used this new filter. No, new filter tag. If we say that work? No, it's getting all sorts of stuff. Because what you want to do is, let's go to an OR for example. There should be a tag we can bring up, and I may need to push F3, enable that, but there is a tag for ORs. Just need to find out what it is. All right, give me a second. As I said, it's been a long time since I've used the digital miner, but items at the back, power on the sides and bottom, and you can replace blocks by thing in the top. So if you want, I can put a drawer of dirt there, and it will fill the hole that it deletes the item out with dirt, and then we're in a good space. So bear with me, back in a moment. Right, well, looked it up on the internet and come across this forge :ors is the tag we should use. If you push F3 and H, JEI will show you your tags here, so we can see down the bottom half of that window you got block tags. Looks like we're having a raid. And yeah, you can look up an ore. So I've just gone with forge ores. It seems to be giving me most of what I need. And I tried putting the chest on top and getting a chest full of cobble. I think I need to pipe it in, not extract it in, but at this point it's not quite working, so that's fine. I'm just gonna, this guy will chew power like it's going out of fashion, but you can see there are ores coming in. The harder the thing is to pick up, the more power it's using, and again, this one little thing's not going to do too much in terms of collecting the things, but you can see we're picking up items here, picking up ores. So it's definitely doing its job. Let's see, southeast. Southeast is this way. I do like the extra speed I've got from the gem I put on my boots. Run this way. They're over here somewhere. Hello? Non-friends? Where are you? Normally they spawn in just here somewhere. Not today. Some zombies down there. Skelly. They're only southeast. I don't see the campfire. Normally that's a good indicator of where they are. Only 5 raiders left, so they're already fighting. Maybe they're closer than I thought. Unless that's them down there and they're just fighting with zombies or something, but I don't believe they do that. No, they're just normal mobs. They're somewhere. My guys are obviously dispatching them. Oh, there they are. Look at that. In the corner of the map there. In my way. I think. Are they... Yeah, they're getting them, but they're here somewhere. The guards are running around all over the shop. Oh well. They shouldn't spawn inside the village though. I don't know. There's one around somewhere. Only one raider left. Nice having the guys actually capable of defending. There you go. Alright, didn't have to worry about it. Awesome. Okay, so the Digiminer, again, I need a lot more power for it, but I'll make a few more of those. Wow, I think people need stuff. I'll make a few more of these biogenerators, I think, because they do put out a decent amount of power. Just not quite enough for this because it pulls whatever it is. Start 1,000 a tick. Don't know if it wastes and if it will continue working when it's running like that. Be interesting to know, to be honest. Might just leave that run for a little. Let's see if it actually does. Oh yeah, it does. Things still come in, so I'm just going to leave that. So hopefully that'll clean up the area and pick up as many of these ores from like this level down. Anything it can find in a fairly decent range, right? So as we said, it will go down to -64. So -64. Let's do this. We can push this on. That's where it starts. We go down to -64. That's the edge of where it goes to, but it goes a lot deeper than this. So -64 is all the way down, miles down. But you know, we're at 40, 55. So I probably want to move him over here and just kind of set him up, not here near this area, and I'm trying to get the Aldemody more. But there's still plenty of things we can pick up. So I'll let him go. Let me just jump back up the top because it's a pain. Colony. Cool. You want 18 sunflowers. I don't know if I got houses, but we can check. Always good. Where'd you go? Oh, yep, cool. We did have a spot. I just check in on the village every now and then. I haven't had too many deaths lately, but it's always good to... Oop, everything's full. I need more storage. Need lots more storage. Alright, let me throw another cut in here, and I'll be back very shortly. Okay, it's about time to wrap up the episode. My warehouse is very full. I've just gone through and tried to sort as many of the racks as I can, so do yourself a favour and occasionally come through and do like an auto sort thing. I'll just use my middle click mouse button, and you can see it compacts some stuff. Gives us a little bit of extra space. I have just enabled wheat seeds to go to the composter so that we can potentially get some of the wheat seeds out of here because there's quite a lot. I've also disabled the bucket pattern because the number of buckets of milk in this warehouse is ridiculous. So they're obviously not using it for cooking at the moment for some reason, but there are so many in there, it's not funny. I think what we look at, I can't look there. What have I wrote? Milk. There's 104 buckets of milk in there. So I think the 300 iron that is used for those buckets is probably used better elsewhere. You can see I've left the thing on for the digital miner, so it pops out this far. And again, same on the other side. So it's a decent range, right? It comes all the way out to here. So it'll find any ore in that area. I do need to turn that off though. Turn that off. Let's see what we've got so far. A couple of things. Vanadium, magnetite, stone dust apparently, some dark gems. Yep. So it's picking up some ores. Don't have it on Silk Touch. I don't have the power for Silk Touch. That would cost a lot more than what it's currently running at with the 1,000. I think if you put Silk Touch on, it's a bucket load more power, but Again, I'm doing it to clean up the area and get rid of all the ores and mine out what I can. And then I'll process it through the system like normal. As I said earlier, I'm going to pop down the sawmill and the stone smeltery and get them built and underway. I've got to find a place to put them. Not sure how big these guys are either. So I'll work through that in between episodes. But wrapping up point, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Apologies for the little bit of sickness that I've got going on at the moment. And I hope you come back and join me next time. Until then, catch you later.